Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I am Jordan, and today we have a whistleblower from the GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, talking about the actual brutality that is happening with these humanitarian aid sites in Gaza. But before I get started, don't forget to check out this clip from Jimmy Dore. Just listen.
Back home, Biden has resisted calls from his own party to endorse a ceasefire and condition for military aid for Israel, even though his stance is hemorrhaging support from younger voters heading into 2024 presidential election. And why doesn't he care? Because the people who really run this country are not the politicians. The real people who run this country are the people who control, the billionaires who control the politicians. And the billionaires who control the Democratic Party are very similar, if not the exact same billionaires who control the Republican Party. And they don't give a shit if a Democrat's president or a Republican president, as long as it's not Trump. Because Trump won't do their foreign wars in the exact same way they want him to. And it's hard to sell foreign wars with the guy you've said was a white supremacist.
Well, damn, you got that fucking wrong, didn't you, Jimmy? I mean, that's way off. He missed the mark by like a lot there. But whatever. I just wanted to show that. It's from a year ago, don't worry. Don't get too mad, Jimmy Dore fans. I'm just pointing out incorrectness. And also, don't forget to share support. Hopefully, donate to all the links in the description box. Do the thing. Do that thing. Donate. Share the stories. Read the stories. If you can't donate, share the stories anyways. Fuck it. Just do it. Now. Thank you. All right, so we have this clip. This might be from the BBC. I think it is. So I'm going to leave it small screen, but hopefully I don't get hardcore copyrighted for this. But here we go. Here is the whistleblower talking about what's actually happening at these Gaza food and aid sites. Here we go.
In Gaza after he retired and left, he says, when he saw American colleagues and the IDF killing civilians.
Oh, and by the way, he's a former, I don't know if I said that, former Special Forces, military guy. Then he contracted, which has been known, already reported on, U.S. contractors that are over there in Gaza trying to do the aid distribution. And then he saw what was happening. He's like, damn, I'm around a bunch of fucking killers, bro. What's going on here? But here we go.
The soldier is Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Aguilar, a Special Forces veteran of the U.S. Army's Green Berets. He's in Washington. I spoke to him from a spot just near the Gaza border.
I witnessed the Israeli Defense Forces shooting at the crowds of Palestinians. I witnessed the Israeli Defense Forces firing a main gun tank round from the Merkava tank into a crowd of people, destroying a car of civilians that were simply driving away from the site. I witnessed mortar rounds being fired at the crowds of people to keep them controlled.
As a professional...
Sorry. I'm going to try to pause every so often because of the copyright stuff. But, yeah, I'm sure people have seen videos of them shelling, like when Palestinians their houses get bombed and they kick them out. These guys just fire off rounds and shell buildings where no one's at. I mean, there could be someone there. They're not taking the precautions to make sure no one's in there. They just fire the rounds anyways, indiscriminately. There's plenty of videos like that out there. So, all right, here we go.
Being fired at the crowds of people to keep them controlled.
As a professional soldier with a very long career, what was your professional opinion of what was happening?
My professional opinion of how the sites were established was what I would describe as amateur, inexperienced, untrained, no idea of how to conduct operations of this magnitude. That would be my most benign assessment. In my most frank assessment, I would say that they're criminal. In my entire career, have I never witnessed the level of brutality and use of indiscriminate and unnecessary force against a civilian population, an unarmed, starving population. I've never witnessed that in all of the places I've been deployed to war until I was in Gaza at the hands of the IDF and U.S. contractors.
And yes, U.S. contractors have been involved in shootings, and yeah, you probably mainly see them use like mace or gas canisters, maybe even rubber bullets for all I know. But remember, these are starving people, right? Or a lot of them are, and sorry, like those tactics can actually severely harm someone to even like death can result from these things. Remember, if they're malnourished and they're eating rubber bullets or a gas canister hits them, then their hospitals are all fucked, probably backed up to outside the hospital, maybe hallways of a hospital. Yeah, people can die from these things. Straight up. And yeah, it is. The whole thing is a mess. The whole thing's a mess. And don't worry, I'm going to go over some reactions, not to this story, but just overall, some of the stories of recent in regards to Gaza. But here we go.
Based on the knowledge you have, do you think that you were a witness then to war crimes? I think you're saying that very emphatically.
Yes.
Without question, I witnessed war crimes. I witnessed war crimes being held by the Israeli Defense Forces, without a doubt, using artillery rounds, mortar rounds, firing tank rounds into unarmed civilians is a war crime.
Yes. And fuck the law, fuck what these motherfuckers wrote on paper, and just your normal sense of life. It's a crime. And there's no way around it. People, once again, I did a story which was from weeks ago. I'm sure it's gotten worse since then. But weeks ago, where it's like, they know they're unarmed, and they're still firing into the crowds. I've said this before as well, of, if you show up too early, you get shot at. If you show up too late, you get shot at. If you step out of line, you get shot at. Those are actual things happening, apparently. And this guy, this ex-Special Forces guy, is whistleblowing about it. And let me add this to all of this, which is, you guys see how Donald Trump parades around the military, right? I love the military. I love them. I love the military. You know, best military in the world. They're the best. If Trump heard this guy talking, let's say this guy blew up somehow. He went extra viral, right? And all of a sudden, every news station is asking about the testimony from this guy. Trump like, well, that guy, he's a Democrat. He's fake news. He doesn't, he's anti-American. He's probably a far leftist Marxist. Like, all of a sudden. Because Trump, just like Netanyahu, just like any of these other fucking presidents or leaders of these countries, don't give a fuck about any of these fucking people. They don't care. They don't care about Palestinians. They don't care about the soldiers they send to do these fucking deeds in these countries. They don't give a fuck. They do things for optics and optics alone. The rest is some sort of weird goal to do something. Part of me wants to go with devil worshipping, but I'll leave that to South Park. All right, here we go.
People can resist hunger for a long time, but in the end, their strength ebbs away and deaths can rise exponentially. And that is what seems to be happening now in Gaza. Israel insists its forces have not targeted civilians. Now we have eyewitness testimony to add to the considerable evidence that they've done so as a matter of routine. Jeremy Bowen.
Okay. So, yeah, Bernie Sanders, start using criminal language for what's happening over there. That's why I think the guy was afraid to say genocide. Well, I think in particular under Joe Biden's administration, right? Bernie Sanders was afraid to say genocide because that puts it in crime territory. Now you're going to tell everyone that your Democratic president is openly funding and supporting a blatant crime against humanity. And Bernie can't have that because he's a ride or die with the Democratic Party for some fucking reason. For some reason. His rhetoric changes from time to time, but let's be honest, what he actually does is he shovels people back into the Democratic Party. It could be strategy to be like, hey, I can't win by myself, so I have to kiss the ring in order to get gain some ground in the political landscape. But for me, I just see him like, you're just a coward. What's your excuse for someone hanging a Free Palestine sign at one of your rallies and the cops taking them away, and you just let them take them away? And then your entire crowd, Bernie, started screaming Free Palestine. You look like a fucking idiot when shit like that happens. They're called IQ tests, Bernie. Dummy. Coward. Anyways. So let's go over more things that'll probably piss me off. Here's Theo Von. As you can see, the actor Michael Caine. The best Alfred of all time, apparently. Says, feed the children of Gaza. No child should be starving. I agree. Theo Von ats the U.S. Army and the Red Cross. Can y'all help, please? Does Theo, yo, Theo, I saw your video, right? Where you're like, oh, man, this... He's like, he's I guess, half crying. He's like, man, this feels like a genocide, man. And then you notice this, where like, okay, this is weeks ago where he said that, right? Or maybe months ago. And now he's saying this, you know, like, oh, can you help? Like, kids are starving. Can we help here? And it's like, you didn't take the time to, like, you feel like a genocide's happening. Okay, maybe you're a dumb fuck that didn't know anything at that time period. But you're not going to stop and start trying to learn things at that point? Like, damn, what is going on here? How come our government's not doing anything about it? How come I'm having dinner with these fucking people? How come I'm doing rallies for Trump in the Middle East and hugging them at UFC events? Shouldn't you, like, you're adding them on Twitter, man. Like, study what's happening and use your fucking platform. And guess what? If they throw you away, the guy everyone loves, Theo Von, the nicest guy in the world, they'll look like idiots. Like, I don't even know if this guy right here is being antagonistic or not, but he's like, what do you want the U.S. Army and Red Cross to do? Like, does he like, pick up the phone, Theo? I don't know, call maybe the daughter or the son-in-law of the fucking president. You know, those guys you have dinner with. Tell them about it. But yo, this is what's happening over here. Do you guys not know? Are you guys not paying attention? You don't know anything? Let me educate you, right? Because Theo Von would have educated himself by that point. And he can tell Ivanka and fucking Kushner. And allegedly, I mean, it's bullshit, but I'll take everything at face value right now. Remember when Trump bombed Syria? Guess what? What did he say in his speech? And then Ivanka, she called me up. She's like, oh my God, Daddy, they're killing babies. They're beautiful babies. They're killing the babies. Not a direct quote, but that's essentially what was being said. He said Ivanka talked to him about it. And that's what got him like, man, I got to step in and I got to bomb Syria now. I think it was bullshit, but because I think they're all devil worshippers, but at the same time, let's take it at face value. There's more ammo for you, Theo Von. At some point, you have to step off the stupid pedestal and like actually stand your ground and like be that person. Maybe you're lazy, you don't want to do like, man, I don't want to get involved with that, man. I just want to crack jokes. I understand, but you just put your foot in the shit. And if you want to back off, like it's your choice. If you want to back off, tell people like, listen, I'm too lazy to get into like, while keeping the context of starving children and genocides happening. So like, listen, I understand that's what I believe is happening over there, you know, but you know, I'm too lazy to get invested. Just tell everybody, like, just tell them. No fake advertisements, no ads at the U.S. Army. What do you want them to do? Go over there, start shooting? And by the way, we already have ex-U.S. people over there, or ex-U.S. Army people over there. We just watched a video of a Special Forces guy. We have military guys that are there that are contracting right now. On behalf of the U.S. government, by the way. Like, we set it up and got them over there. Let's be honest about that. And then the Red Cross is already in Gaza. Right? They're called the Red Crescent because majority Muslim country, right? So they use a crescent instead of the cross. And I did a story where 15 of those guys got fucking murdered. and their bodies thrown in shallow graves and covered with dirt by bulldozers. And the ambulance, too. They buried the ambulance with them. Theo Von might have found out about that if he looked into it. That became mainstream news. That became New York Times level mainstream news. So, hey, Theo Von, I'm being mean right now. I'm sorry. Maybe he's a really nice guy for all I know. But I'm just throwing, look past my meanness and look what I'm trying to, send to you. Not that he's going to see this video, but it's more so for Theo Von fans so they, realize, I'm trying to help. It may sound mean, but sometimes Gordon Ramsay needs to it's fucking raw. So they learn from it. Now let's move on to someone that I don't actually think will ever learn anything because I think they're a fucking op or something like that. And this person, clear as day fuckboy. No, I'm not talking about Tim Pool. I'm talking about someone that would definitely be involved with or work with Tim Pool. And turning something like this where he says a massive crowd of trans people are now protesting in the streets of London to free Palestine. This is beyond parody at this point. The mentally ill are going all in for people who want to throw them off rooftops. Now, once again, that is a propaganda tactic that the dumbest of the dumb use. Someone like Laura Loomer, right? She's like, that woman's stupid. I'm aware that this guy's really dumb too, but it's more so the point, not how intelligent they are at arguing their points, right? Right? It's about what they're actually trying to say here, which is stop protesting against Israel. Shut up. Stop doing it. That's their point. Because these guys are not, in my opinion, these people don't move with agency. This Nick Sorter, he doesn't move with agency. He doesn't. Either he's brainwashed and owned, paid and owned, or threatened and owned. That's the only options I see. I don't see anything else. I don't see a free man talking this way. I see a fucking slave talking this way. Right? The point is to tell other people, or turn the whole thing into, see, look, the fucking woke left. The woke left. They're free Palestine, which means you guys gotta be what? Fuck Palestine, right? Save Israel, fuck Palestine. You guys gotta be that because the woke guys are on the other team. That's his main purpose, just like Tim Pool's thing is. His thing is to divide people and take advantage of, sorry to say, unintelligent people. Not by capacity, but by experience, they're dumb. I've been dumb before, based on lack of awareness or lack of information of what happens in the world. A poor vista, a poor view of things. It's blurry because I know so little. But anyone with any capacity, if they just take time to study certain things, they will pass. That means they already passed guys like this and Tim Pool. You already passed them. Just by trying to learn a little bit, you already leapfrog past them. And I'd say, that person deserves a show or $1 million contract before these fucking idiots do. These fucking liars. Laura Loomer included, too. She's like, these people are fucking stupid. But let's keep it going. Sorry, I get in a mood sometime. Yeah. Forgive me. Let's keep it going here. So here we have, this is not really the story, right? Although, I'm sure people have heard this headline about Macron saying, oh, there should be a free Palestinian state, right? Like UN rights and all that stuff, like an actual state of Palestine. And I just wanted to show the reaction of someone who's our ambassador to Israel, right? These are the reactions that you should be expecting from these. I mean, not Theo Von. I don't know him as much, but definitely the devil worshiper. These guys, if you're a Christian, these guys actually worship the devil. I kid you not. And I don't mean the guy with horns and Baphomet and all that shit. I mean, they like doing harmful shit around the world, bro. I think they actually take pleasure in it, which to me is some devil-worshipping shit. Granted, Mike Huckabee might be more of a brainwash fool, where he's worshiping the devil, not real, like thinking it's God, but it's not actually God. Like, isn't God about love and stuff? Nah, he's about getting rid of the Palestinians so that Israel has has the whole state to themselves. Anyways, here's his statement here. Macron's unilateral declaration of a Palestinian state didn't say where it would be. That sentence alone should already be like, well, wait a minute. I think people already know what. Like, that's why they're calling it Palestine. That's why they're calling them Palestinians. Where would it be? Where the fuck would the state be? Oh, are you saying that like after you've, let's be real, holocausted an entire group of people and strong attempts of ethnically cleansing them out of the area, to be like, what Palestinian state? I don't see one. Where is it? It's like, well, you kind of massacred people and they kind of fled. But there were people there with their own sense of territory and where they belonged at, although it was shrinking every single day after day, shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, just like the West Bank is right now. Not enough people are paying attention to that. Like, they are here to eliminate them by death or by exile. They have to go. That is the mentality of the Netanyahu administration in Israel. That is the mentality of dumb fuck Mike Huckabee, who thinks he's worshiping God, but the actual guy he worships has horns and a fucking tail. And of course, the Orange Penguin, who is knowingly like, yeah, we're just going to eliminate these fools, get them out of here, because he doesn't care about people. He doesn't care about the kids being killed. He doesn't care about the grandmas, the grandpas, the moms, the dads. He doesn't care about the athletes, the journalists, the hospital workers, the doctors, the nurses, the people who are amputated already, who can't fight for Hamas. Doesn't care about them either. If they got pets, he doesn't care about them either. That is where we're at. Seriously, open your fucking eyes. And I've said this before, I think it's too late for Palestinians. I said this a while ago. I'll say a while ago. Where it's like they've gotten started too fast and have done too much. It's too late. Even though the temperature in Western nations and all that stuff around the world are like, yo, free Palestine, fuck those guys, yo, fuck you, Israel. Even though that's turned around compared to where it was, before October 7th, it's still way too late. Because they've been speedrunning since Trump got in office. And since it's too late, the thing that you need to work on, in my humble opinion, is your mind. Like, understand the circumstances that you do care about the issue, and you would never let that happen. But the things like happening, and we don't have the logistics, we don't have, like, what do we do about that? And if you feel helpless, you shouldn't feel morally like shit about it. Right? There's a whole bunch of other things that people have to deal with in order to get to something where we're like, okay, guys, stop fucking killing people like this. Stop arming it and funding it. And let's do an actual investigation and forensics on the situation. Let's really look at it. But don't blame yourself because I'm sorry, it's probably gonna happen, right? These guys, it's already being declared, right? What state? Like where would the state be? He's basically saying, we're going to get rid of them. There's nothing you can do about it. They're gone. So, people should be mentally prepared for that. Anyways, here we go. I can now exclusively disclose that France will offer the French Riviera, and the new nation will be called Frankenstein. See how this guy's cracking jokes? Yo, what were you saying, Theo Von? You're responding to Michael Caine. Feed the children of Gaza. No child should be starving. And you're asking for help, right? This is your ambassador to Israel that could say some words to the Netanyahu administration. He has the access to do something about it. And what does he say? What does he do? He cracks jokes. He's cracking jokes about it. By the way, Mike Huckabee, this year, I forgot when, probably a couple months ago, I think. I think it was right after Trump did his visit to the Middle East, right? And Mike Huckabee was like, man, there's kids starving over there. We got to help them out. We're going to make sure they get some aid. And that's when the U.S. started paying these mercenaries, the whistleblower we just saw, paying these guys to go in there and distribute food. Granted, people on the ground knew what the fuck was happening because they were blatantly killing unarmed civilians. Blatantly. And Mike Huckabee's statements were just to get you guys, the American audience, to shut the fuck up. That was his point. It was to say, stop crying. I'll take care of this. Look, I've heard your cries. I will now help them get aid. And this is their version of getting them aid. The video we saw first, that's what they're calling giving aid. Shooting unarmed people, desperate to get food. Just being honest. And then here comes, another dumb fuck. To parlay off the Mike Huckabee tweet, this guy was also saying, there was quote unquote leaked reports from the White House that the U.S. Trump has plans to recognize a Palestinian state. Why did he do that? Because he was on his way to the Middle East. Saudi Arabia said, yo, there's a lot of tensions here, so can you cool out with all this stuff before you come over here? He starts making peace with the Houthis and ceasefires and Palestinian states and all that stuff, right? Saying bullshit reports of Trump and Netanyahu are beefing with each other. They're about to fight each other, right? They're so mad at each other. It was all bullshit. Just so he had a safe, comfy ride to the Middle East to do his business and do his propaganda and to deem an Al-Qaeda leader as the new president of Syria and all that stuff. He got his job done. He came back and just, like nothing, switches back to, fuck the Palestinians. Fuck anyone in the Middle East that fucks with us. Fuck you, Iran. Israel, do you need some help? But people fell for it. After they were like, all right, I'm done with Trump. People like that got re-tricked. And that quickly got re-tricked again. And now they're back to, yo, fuck you, Trump. And I'm like, how the fuck are we? Like, good God. It should be like a game of dodgeball. Like, all right, you got hit. You're out, bro. You're done. Get out. Fuck. It really should be. But, all right. Guess we'll end with this clip here. Here is another devil worshiper to tell us, don't worry, we're taking care of it. All right, and he's like, thank God for Epstein. We can finally just run over the Palestinians, get them out of here. Here we go. Sorry, that volume's terrible. I gotta turn that up. My bad. I do things on the fly. Here we go.
Yeah, Gaza, they pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die. And
I think they want to die. Well, they were in a ceasefire. I'm sure people here have heard this story 10 million times, that they were in a ceasefire deal. Israel broke the ceasefire. Trump didn't give a fuck about that. Like, oh, fine, okay. Or, let's be honest, it was probably planned for them to break the ceasefire. Just like this quote-unquote ceasefire in Lebanon. It's probably planned to break in the first place. You just take breaks to rearm, refuel, whatever the fuck. Some R&R. And you go back to like, all right, let's go back to fucking genociding people. Let's go back to it. And then when he offers bogus deals, remember when Hamas willingly just gave up an American hostage they had? Where someone in the Trump administration, maybe it was Witkoff or something, talked to Hamas, right? And they made it, and Hamas, without getting anything in return, said, hey, here's your hostage back. as like a sign of good faith. Then the U.S. was like, all right, thanks, bye. And then kept it moving, like nothing happened. And Hamas was like, yo, what the fuck? We just did like a good faith deal. In fact, the U.S. got Israel to stop bombing for that day. All right? Hey, BB, stop bombing right now. Open up a pathway. We're gonna bring our American citizen who was serving in the IDF for some reason. Whatever. We're gonna take him. We're gonna bring him back. Get him out of there. Give him back to his parents. I know he's just some dumb kid. Didn't know what he was doing. But we got him. We're gonna get him out of there. So hold out on the bombing. As soon as they get this, what was his name? Elon Alexander, I think his name was. As soon as America got him back, Israel went right back to bombing, and Hamas was like, yo, we just like we gave you that for free. And that was probably Hamas's IQ test in regards to the Trump administration. They already know Netanyahu's a devil worshiper, right? Bullshit devil worshiper. Because they're probably they're gangsters themselves too. Let's be honest, right? I don't know if it's their origins are that they're dumb fuck people, or if just being shit on so much turned them into dumb fuck people. I can't tell you with Hamas, but either way, they know what Netanyahu is, right? Maybe they didn't exactly know what Trump was, so they offered something in good faith, and then that's when they realized, oh wait, this guy's here to kill all of us too. Got it. Makes sense. Yeah, let's go back to this clip, I guess. You're gonna have to finish the job.
Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die. And it's very bad.
Who says that?
It got to be to a point where you're going to have to finish the job. They really, they asked for things. Don't forget, we got a lot of hostages out. So now we're down to the final hostages. And they know what happens after you get the final hostages. And basically, because of that, they really didn't want to make a deal. I saw that. So they pulled out, and they're going to have to fight, and they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of it.
Okay, so he's lying. Once again, as far as we understand, Hamas stuck to the ceasefire deals. They did phase one, where they gave back hostages to Israel and got some in return, right? Because in their minds, if we just give up the hostages, they'll just bomb all. Like, they don't give a fuck about them. So they'll just kill all of us, all right? At least the optics of Israel just bombing their own fucking hostages, that like at least makes them look bad, right? But if we just give them the hostages, there's no hostages left. They'll just fucking kill us. So the point was like actually sign deals, like international deals, to where Hamas said they would actually disband. Well, you'd have to give them a state. You'd have to give Palestine, like if they went to the UN, like, okay, we are officially doing a Palestinian state. According to Hamas, they said, we will disband. We will be done. We're done. Put the arms down, we're done. If they didn't get a state, I think they were going to... Fuck, what was the deal if they didn't get a state? They'd step down as the government. They'd still be Hamas, right? The group Hamas, but they wouldn't be the government. They'd step down from the government, I think was the idea. If, they did a permanent ceasefire and ended the genocide. Okay, we will not... We'll be a militia, but we won't be, the government of Gaza or the military of Gaza. We'll be waiting in the wings in case something pops off again. That was allegedly their thing. Now, are we supposed to believe them? I wouldn't just take anything just trusting at face value. I wouldn't do that. But as far as we've seen with the phase one of the deal, they followed through to a T. And then what happened? Israel said, fuck it, we're going to go back to killing you. And they broke the ceasefire. And there was like something where I guess they were like dancing with like a coffin or something, or it looked, according to Israelis, looked kind of mocking or something. I'm like, that's not enough to re-kick up a bombing campaign, is it? To say, you know what, fuck those guys, let's just get our hostages out. I think like think of any situation like a bank robbery where there's hostages and all right, release. Let's make a deal. Release like 10 of the hostages as a sign of good faith. And the bank robbers like dancing them out of there, like playing funny music and dancing them out of there. All right, here's your hostages. What are you doing? Fire! Why are you mocking them? Shoot them. There's no fucking way, right? But that was the logic of the scenario. And before they started shooting bombs again, they cut off water. And they were already killing people during the ceasefire. But I assume Hamas looked the other way to try to get some sort of deal done. Like, fine, you're killing like pockets of people. But you're not doing all-out bombing campaigns. Until they did. So this guy, he's just lying. And say, all right, Hamas doesn't want a deal, even though it's a bogus deal. Because they don't want a deal, it's like he said he said the same thing that he said during the campaign when he was debating. When they asked him about Israel, which I paid attention to, I'm like, I'm very curious what he says to this question. That don't worry, the mainstream news let him fly by saying this. Well, Israel's got to finish the job. They got to finish the job. Meaning that was the plan from the very beginning. Eliminate them. By death or by exile. You want to say trust the plan? That's the plan you should have trusted would happen. That Israel's going to, quote unquote, finish the job. And what does that look like? Hundreds of thousands dead. Millions exiled. That's what that looks like. And this devil worshiper is all in favor of it. Want to know how you can tell these things? Whenever you bring up a critical question about Israel and they pivot to Hamas, that's how you should know. That's a simple-ass IQ test right there. Wait a minute. Are you telling me these people are like perfect? Like Israel's just perfection? They do everything perfectly. Every bad thing that happens over there is apparently Hamas. Let's not lie to ourselves, guys. But I'm going to leave it there. I mean, sorry for rambling and ranting and raving, whatever. But that's how I feel. This topic is the IQ test of our lifetimes. People who say they don't care about politics, fine. People who say, oh, no, well, morality is different for you and for me. Like, it's all relative, right? Fine. But when this thing, if you're not against what's happening there, if you know about it, right? If you're not against that, holy fucking shit. I think you have psychological disorders. You have mental health issues. Truly believe that. If you're someone who's never heard anything about it, right? I suggest you learn, but I'm not going to sit here and just blame you for not knowing everything on the universe, like on the planet, right? And in the universe. There's plenty of shit I don't know about. But if you know about it, and you're still on Orange Penguin side, I think you need to look in the mirror and be like, damn, am I growing horns and a tail? Think about it, guys. But there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I think it's pretty cut and dry here of what I was saying. So if you have any counters or if you agree or more information, please talk about it, post it, ask me questions, ask other commenters questions. If there's that many people, like, do it all. Request videos. You can do that. So please do that in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. And with all that said, please give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.